Hey, the doctor, he had a liberal patient and he said to him one day, he said, hey, are you suffering from mental illness? Liberal looked at him and says, you know what? I kind of enjoy it. You got to really dig on that one, I know. Now let me jump into some real depressing stuff, okay? It's factual and it's depressing, blah, blah. You got Ontario, the Superior Court of Justice there has found that the shooting down of flight PS752 by Iran was intentional, and in fact, it was an act of terrorism under the criminal code. You may recall that was a while ago, 176 people were killed, murdered by terrorists. They aimed the missiles at the plane and they pulled the trigger, as it were, and they downed the plane. And 85 of those people were Canadians. 30 of them were permanent residents and 55 were Canadian citizens. And the judge in Canada said, hey, without question, it was an act of terrorism. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to seek a remedy with regards to money. What's the judgment here that we're going to get? We're going to have another court hearing and we're going to determine the compensation amount. You're kidding me, right? That's what you do to terrorists? Really? Why wouldn't you just go bomb them? Well, I guess the Canadian Army, some days at least, under the regime of Trudeau, the Prime Minister, they couldn't beat the Toronto Maple Leafs. Do you think? I mean, this is sick. I mean, terrorists. What do you do to a terrorist? What do you do to a bully when he comes up and starts hitting you? You hit him back. And if you can't hit him hard enough, you go back and get help. And you come and you really ding him. Just saying. Let's go over to kind of nicer stuff now. Gold vending machines. They're popping up everywhere. They're kind of cool, right? Gold. I think gold, last I looked at least, was about $2,000 an ounce US currency. And you have machines coming everywhere. Now you also have machines with Bitcoin. And people say, people, being Wall Street kind of genius types, they say that the Bitcoin market has taken money out of the gold market. And now they say, same people, that it's kind of coming back to the gold market from the Bitcoin market. Bitcoin was invented in 2008 by an unknown person or group using a bunch of, aliases, and it came into being in 2009. For the first couple of years, it was basically a plaything, right? And the first known purchase of Bitcoin took place in May of 2010. Really wasn't that long ago when a programmer in Florida jokingly paid a stranger in the UK to order him 2 pizzas from a local pizza shop, and it was worth about $60, so he gave him Bitcoin for about $60. And based on today's action, actually more like a month ago's action, those pizzas roughly cost $477 million. Hey, every time you eat pizza from now on, I want you all to think about that. Now we get into other stuff, heavy stuff, racism stuff. If y'all are white, I don't know, our color is not in vogue lately, is it? About 20% of the whole world is white, and people are mad at us. They say that we're racist about everything. And here's an assistant dean of a graduate student affairs at some university, Brandis University maybe, who is white. And she wrote this on Instagram: all white people are racist. And she went on to say all white people have been conditioned in society where one's racial identity determines the experience, outcomes of life, and on and on. And I hate whiteness. This is coming from a white person. You privileged little broad, you. In New York, there's a New York psychiatrist, I think is black, told a Yale School of Medicine audience that she had fantasies of unloading a revolver into the head of any white person. This is pretty serious stuff, right? And they talk like this all the time. So many white people are apologizing. Politicians are saying, hey, you know what, I've got white privilege and I'm so sorry. Get over yourself. Come on. I don't think this is accurate stuff. I really don't think there's as much racism. I didn't know I was a racist until the Prime Minister of Canada told me. This is just crazy. The TV commercials now are kind of buying into this. You don't see white people anymore. Everybody is black or a different color. And why is that? And if you do see a white person, typically they're with a person of color, right? Intermarriage, interracial stuff. Why don't they just leave us alone and let us do what we want to do? That would be kind of nice, because I think all people, for the most part, are good. And you have all this nonsense happening all the time. And nonsense it is. Air Canada. I talked about them before. We're happy when you're not. That's the motto, right? And they got these big bonuses, and now they got the headline saying, hey, sorry, we're going to return the money. They got $10 million of the bonuses after getting several $1 billion in bailout money from the federal government, from you, the taxpayer, if you all happen to be Canadian. And now they're saying, we're going to give it back. Sorry about that, but hey, guess what? That's not actually true, because the middle managers They kept it, and they're about $8 million out of the 10, and a couple of the big shots, they gave theirs back, but they didn't give it back. What they did is they gave it to little funds and pensions and different things to support the employees of Air Canada, so it's kind of the same thing. Nice headline, small print, same old, same old. Then you have politicians now who are calling on executives in Canada to say, hey, now you got NAV Canada, they took $7 million in bonuses too. Guess what NAV Canada is? They run the airports. So airplanes don't fly anymore. They haven't for about a year and a half, for the most part. At least I think air travel is down 90%. And you got a new group of morons who are saying we took a $7 million bonus because we're so special. And they are government employees. Government, you know what? The management of the Canadian government, well, firstly, there isn't any. I misspoke. The mismanagement, that would be kind of more like it. Nevada, COVID. Nevada's open. Arizona, Texas. So many states are open. Canada remains closed for business and maybe even for life. I got to tell you, it's kind of bizarre because I was in Alberta recently and Saskatchewan, and people are still scared of people because we're all dumbed down a little bit. I mean, we've been hit with 2x4s and 2x6s, and wow, it's got to stop. It's refreshing. I was in Arizona a few weeks ago and Nevada too recently, and it's refreshing. People are acting like people again. And you know what? The governments there didn't necessarily open. I don't believe that they opened because COVID was down. It opened because the people were pushing back. People weren't wearing masks anymore. They said, I've had enough now. And the government said, we got to look like a hero and we got to act like it was our idea. So no more masks. Everything is good now. Canada, y'all need to do that too. You got to get out and start to push. A lot of people are, and I understand that. You got to push harder. This thing has to stop. Keep 6 feet apart. Wear a mask. Some people wear 2 masks. Oh, I haven't heard anybody said to me for a year. They got these big screens in front of them and masks on, and a lot of people are low talkers. It's just about over. Y'all come back tomorrow. We're going to have more for you from the right. See ya.